Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I missed y'all. I hope y'all missed me. I hope you enjoyed the last video of me camping. I know it was a little shorter, but your girl is back. And I'm kind of back with a different video. This isn't going to be a vlog. It's going to be more of a just testimonial video, I guess, because I've been going through a lot in my life these past couple of months, and honestly y'all started to see that. Y'all seen the, I want to say the beginning, yeah, y'all seen the beginning of this roller coaster of a life that I've been on since I've been in school. Oh, excuse me. And it's kind of all just coming full circle for me. It's all starting to make sense. It's all starting to just work together, and I wanted to come on here and explain some of the things that I'm going through, because I know girls that are in their 20s. I'm 20 years old, and I know there's so many girls in their 20s that are going through this or are about to go through this or any of that, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get on here and just share some of my testimony with y'all. I grew up in a household with just a man, not a mom and a dad, just a man. And you know, of course, he had his girlfriends on and off, whatever, but my primary parent was a father, which is very odd in this day and age, you know what I'm saying? It's usually mothers doing it all, but it was actually my dad, and he has shaped a lot of my beliefs. He has shaped a lot of how I view this world. And so as a 20-year-old going into this world, going into adulthood, I had to start making some changes. I had to start looking at myself, looking at how I feel, my soul, what is my soul craving, and I had to start making some adjustments. So if we want to go back to school, I started to have a spiritual awakening. My therapist, she's still my therapist, but I haven't been going because I've been home. But my therapist at the time, she was telling me, you're about to go through a spiritual awakening, and it's going to be weird, it's going to be different. And she was like, just pay attention. Just pay attention. I was like, okay, bet. So during the time, I had just stopped like freshly dealing with my ex-boyfriend. We're still friends and all of that, but he had left school and went back to California, and I was left basically by myself because we were tied to the hip. We were with each other all the time, so he was all I knew. And once he left, my world just started to crumble, and it didn't really make sense because people have left my life before, but this time he left, and it made my world go upside down. So I started to dig into that, but while I was digging into that, I started to deal with somebody else, which wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all, and it showed me that I was seeking validation from people, from men. And that sucks when you have that realization, because I look at myself as a pretty great person, right? I strive every single day to be better than I was yesterday. So when you get a reality check that you're doing something terribly wrong, it hurts, it sucks, it feels like you're getting stabbed in the freaking chest, and that's how it felt for me. So I was still dealing with him, but I started to have all of these realizations. I started to just go through this transformation of changing my thinking, changing my beliefs, changing all of those things. And it was based on my dad and what I seen. My mind was programmed to normal based on what I was seeing from him. And that wasn't right. I had to teach myself. I had to learn from other people how to develop healthy relationships in my life. I don't really want to speak too much on what happened with the next dude that I was dealing with after my ex-boyfriend, but it was very, very hard for me because I was chosen by my ex-boyfriend, right? He chose me. We were together for a while, and in that moment, I felt like I was the prize. I was the winner. And then as soon as as soon as he left, my self-esteem went down. And so when I found somebody else that filled my self-esteem back up, made me feel like the most beautiful girl in the world, I felt like the most sexiest woman on this earth. I felt like he had the power to make me feel like I was that girl. But instead of me making myself feel like I was that girl, it was actually him. And so that's where things just got messed up at. And so I started seeking validation from him when he wasn't texting me back. It hurt my feelings really, 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 really bad. And I have pride. I have big pride. So when he wouldn't text me back, I'm like, dang, he don't like me no more. And when he didn't want to when he wasn't suggesting to hang out with me all the time like I was used to in my last relationship, it felt like he didn't want me. He wasn't choosing me. He wasn't doing, certain things that I was used to. And it really, really hurt my pride. And so there was a lot of things that happened right before I came home. There was a lot of traumatic things, and I just wasn't my best self right before I came home. I did not do my best last semester. I did not show up at work the best that I could have. I just was not my best self all the way around, and you could see it. And it was for a reason. Of course, everything is always for a reason, but I just wasn't who I wanted to be. And so when I came home, I was like, it's time to decompress. And honestly, God put me in a position to have to decompress and to have to think about my life and think about what I was going through. So I started to ask myself the hard questions. Why are you like this? And honestly, y'all, I started to listen to my folks, which when I mean my folks, I mean the people that's in my everyday circle, which is my family. So I started to listen to my sister more. And I started to stop getting so defensive and actually listen to what she was saying. And it was like God was just speaking to me. He spoke to me in ways that I couldn't really comprehend at first. So once I started listening to my sister, I started seeing where I was lacking at. I started to see how inconsiderate I was. I wasn't considerate of everybody's feelings in my life. I started to see how my facial expressions can affect situations that I'm in. I started to notice that as much as I want people to talk to me the right way, I wasn't speaking to everyone the right way. My attitude would be nasty. I would get sensitive and offended over how people spoke to me, but I spoke to them the same way. And so it took me to listen to my family to see that I had to change those things. The next big thing that I truly, truly learned is that I'm not perfect. God was like, girl, I need to show you not perfect because you thinking you out here just, you know what I'm saying? And it don't go like that. And of course, let's be real. I knew I wasn't perfect, but I felt like every time I made a mistake, I had to badger myself. I felt like I had to face these harsh consequences, whether it was me giving them to myself or God giving them to me. I felt like I had to go through something, and I felt like what I was doing wasn't normal, if that makes sense. I felt like I was making these absurd decisions that just weren't normal at this age. I felt like I was just a fuck up. I felt like I was fucking up all the time. And God was like, baby, everybody goes through this. We're learning. When we're in our 20s, we are learning every single day. And so if you make a mistake, it's so you can learn. So you don't have to make that mistakes in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn that. And the way I learned it was I had to go through something very, very traumatizing. Then I know y'all seen that I went on a trip. I went to Maryland. I met up with my therapist. And she shared a story with me that was very, very similar to mine. And every time she talks to me and she shares a story with me, they're pretty similar to what I've been through. So when she told me like that she made a similar mistake, it humbled me. It made me see things more clearly, and it made me give myself grace. So I want all my girls that are in their 20s to give themselves grace when you make a mistake. It feels like the end of the world. I promise it does. Like, it feels like you can never come back, but you can. To all my girls that came from just not healthy relationships with their fathers, seeing not so healthy relationships that their fathers were engaging in, I want to tell y'all that you can refocus your mind on what healthy is. You can what is the word? You can reprogram your mind to now be able to endure healthy relationships and to seek out healthy relationships. It is possible, but I will say that the number one thing I had to do was pull myself back. And that means from social media, that means from my everyday people, that family too. It means pull yourself back from the things that are making you think the way you think, and then start seeking new tools. My tool was prayer, spirituality. My prayer was therapy. My prayer was people, my mentors that were older than me. I have a spiritual mentor. She helped me a lot. I started to read more. I'm not perfect at reading, but I try to read when I feel like God is telling me to read, and I go and read. So I've been reading more, listening to more podcasts, these are hobbies that I already have developed and, came to, but I just had to get back to the basics. As my dad always says, I had to jump back to what I know, and those things started to help me see more clearly. More clearly. And so what's next for you, girl? Next is I'm going back to school. I have a new job, which I'm very excited about. This is my last year of school. I'm gonna be a senior, and I'm getting emotional because these last 3 years have been a lot. I was never single. My freshman year, I met a man. He was grown. And I thought I was in love. I was playing house. I was doing all of that. And then he was crazy, so I ended up having to change my number, blah, blah, blah. Then the next year, I met, literally the same month that I ended up changing my number and all of that, I met my ex-boyfriend. And we hit it off, and we were in love, and I started not taking school as seriously. I would just go to work, do the bare minimum at school, and be with my man all the time. No, that's a big no-no. So I was listening to this podcast today, and she quoted something from Grey's Anatomy. Christina Yang told Meredith that Derek is dreaming, but he is not the son. She is. And I had to realize this summer that these men are not the son. I am. They can be dreamy. They can feed you stories, tell you how beautiful you are, make you feel like the most sexiest girl on this planet. But you are the sun. I am the sun, and the sun is in the center of everything. You know what I'm saying? You always see the sun. You have to give yourself the attention that you want to give another person. Give yourself that first, because if you're lacking, then everybody else is going to lack too. So this next season is all about me. It's Cancer season, by the way, so it's just been all about me this whole month, and it just started. This season is all about me and what Millie needs. I'm gonna go back to school, and I'm going to leave my mark. Amelia Rochelle Broadnex is going to leave her mark at Alabama State University, and it's just going to be the start. it's going to be the start, because God has just been showing me little glimpses of what I have in store in my life, and I'm so excited. I just want to be the best that I can be and apply everything that I learned this summer to my life, so I can go back to school and I can jump off, you know what I'm saying, get right to it and be who I'm supposed to be. I'm just thankful for all that I've been through, because it's teaching me and it's taught me so much about just this thing called life. The woman that brought me into the earth, she was supposed to teach me a lot of these things, but I had to learn on my own, and that's a lot. It's a lot. It's also a lot being the child to branch off and do something different, to be the oddball in the family. Mental health is just, it's becoming something that we talk about now, because I make it conversation. We make it conversation now, but it wasn't. It was not normal at all. And so I was the oddball. I was the one pushing to break the stigmas that was in my family. And so it's hard. And I'm also going to be the first woman to go into the healthcare system. In my immediate family is what I'm talking about. I have cousins that are doctors, you know, all of that. But me being the first child of Rico Broad Nexus to do something like this is different. It's different for all sides of my family, because although we do have some doctors, it's very few, very limited. So mental health is different from the normal healthcare system. You know, this is stuff with trauma. This is stuff with the mind that we weren't cognitively aware of, and that's okay. I'm here to make you aware. Your girl is here to make the world aware and change it. And so yeah, y'all, I just wanted to get on here and just give y'all some of my testimony. If y'all want to hear more specifics, let me know, because I can dive into specific topics, and it will be more helpful, I think. So just let me know if y'all want that. I want to continue to share my testimony, because it's not done. It's not over. Sadly, the trials and tribulations are over, but these trials and tribulations that I'm in this season are coming to an end, and it's starting to shine this way. It's starting to really, really shine. So follow that journey. That's why I'm back. Your girl feels better. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to hear more. Let me know what you want to hear more about, and stay tuned, because your girl's about to go back to school. It is about to be lit, because I'm bringing you all senior year content. I love y'all, and have an amazing weekend. Bye.